My 27th wife, 29, is figuratively setting me on fire to keep her brother, 27, warm. I am fed up. I am gay. My wife is gay. We are both women. My wife's name is Amy. My relationship with Amy is great except where her brother is concerned. My wife and I got married almost a year ago. 2 months later we bought and moved into our first home. 2 months after that, Amy's brother John moved in with us. We opened our home to John to get him out of a bad living situation. John had been sharing an apartment with his ex-fiancé, who recently started sleeping with John's best friend. It was toxic, so we offered him a place to live while he got back on his feet. My own sister did the same for me when I was going through a rough time. I stayed with her for 3 months, got my shit together, and then moved out. I was expecting John to do the same. John moved in last January, and for the first 6 months we didn't charge him rent while he found a job and got settled. In those 6 months, John got a job and then was promoted to manager. I had been getting more and more frustrated since John doesn't clean up after himself or his cat. He eats my food, drives my car, because he didn't have one of his own, and is generally just a really self-centered person. I reached my breaking point when John told us one of his coworkers asked if he wanted to be roommates, and John immediately said no. He'd rather keep living with us. I snapped and told him he needed to 1, start paying rent, and 2, start looking for a new place to live. Amy supported me during my meltdown, but I am annoyed that she was able to rush moving John in with us, but then sat back and watched me slowly lose my cool over a 6-month period, and only agreed it was time for John to figure out his exit strategy once I'd had a total breakdown. There's lots of little stuff like this that pisses me off. Little decisions that Amy makes without any consideration for how it will impact me or our relationship. Example, John bought a car a few weeks ago, so he could finally stop borrowing mine. Amy went with him to the dealership, and when they got home, I learned that rather than having John get his own car insurance, Amy added John to ours. So now if John gets in an accident, my rates are gonna go up. I told her he needed to get his own policy. We argued, and eventually she agreed. He needed to get his own policy. That still hasn't happened. That brings us to this week. John has been dating, and a girl he went out with tested positive for COVID. We are all vaccinated, but I told him he needed to quarantine in his room until his test came back. While we waited for the results, he bought an at-home test. The dye test came back negative, so rather than waiting for the official results to come in, he asked Emmy if he still had to quarantine. She said no, so he stopped. The next day we got the results from the official test, and it confirmed John has COVID. I know this is already a long post, but I need to give one last bit of context about me. I have a high-stress job in finance. I am the primary breadwinner, and I kill myself at work to reach my goals and to support my family. I spend 10 hours a day at work, and because my bipolar disorder medication is also a heavy sedative, I sleep for 12 hours a night. I log on work at 7:30, log off 6:30 to take my meds, and then I pass out until 6:30 the next morning. Work occupies the majority of my waking hours, and I have spent the better part of a year busting my butt, reorganizing my workload, and endlessly planning to lead my first large project. One of the most crucial steps for a project of this size involves going to the site for an inspection. This site walk is for a super cool, top secret project that I am so excited about. Knowing I had the site walk coming up has been the only thing keeping me motivated. The trip is scheduled for Monday. Well, thanks to John and Amy's trash advice to stop quarantining early, I've covered. Because of my family's negligence, I don't get to go on my site walk. I don't have words to accurately describe how I'm feeling. Devastated. The emotion takes my breath away, or maybe that is a cup. Regardless, I'm not okay. I've already talked to Amy about it. I told her that John needs to go, and if he can't find someone to move in with, then she needs to go with him because I'm tired of her choosing her brother's happiness over mine. She agreed to fix it. What actionable changes need to take place to actually fix this? Amy has shown me time and time again that she's willing to sacrifice. my happiness for her brother's sake, and it's going to ruin our marriage, assuming things do change. How do I move past the resentment I feel towards her now? Too long, don't bread. My brother-in-law is a man-child who f***ed up badly enough that I can't stand to look at him, and my wife enabled and supported the behaviour that got us here. What needs to happen to save my marriage? I need help identifying actionable suggestions and scenarios that will need to play out to fix this. The biggest problem I see here is a complete and total breakdown of communication. Nobody is talking to anybody else. Everybody is making assumptions. You can't enforce boundaries if you never talk about them or your feelings. Couples counselling will be a boon to correcting this. You and your wife. This will be a scheduled time to talk about things like a timeline to evict John or even the desire to evict John. Ask if it's okay to add John to insurance, etc. And John needs to move out ASAP so you and your wife can focus on this without the distraction of taking care of John stirring up more problems. Assuming things do change. How do I move past the resentment I feel towards her now? One thing at a time. Don't waste energy figuring out how you're going to forgive your wife if or when things change, because they haven't changed yet. You feel betrayed and heartbroken and outraged. Feel those feelings. Don't rush through them just to spare your wife discomfort of your anger, or because you feel like it's not nice to be angry. I know you hate the here and now and want to imagine what the finish line of this bullshit looks like. But the finish line isn't even in sight yet. Honestly, giving John another 3 months to move is too generous. How on earth is he going to move during the holiday season? The plan sets everyone up for fate. Give him 4 weeks. He's truly back on his feet and has options: a new girlfriend, a coworker who expressed interest, other family members, a hotel, his new car if he gets desperate. This is no longer about him having the best new place to move to. It's about you guys reclaiming your home whilst your marriage is in crisis. He can sort out his own situation. He's had 9 months to figure something out. You guys need to have your home and privacy back now so you can go through the hard labour of reestablishing trust in this marriage. All of the people here claiming it's a communication issue suffer from wishful thinking. From what I see, the wife is well aware of Op's expectations and needs. She is just not a woman of her word, and sadly, this is serious. There's nothing worse than the partner who does lip service and goes to keep doing what they want. It's a lack of respect, both towards your partner and yourself. Time for conversations is over. If you are in individual therapy, prepare the tools to kick Bill out. If she could invite him without consulting you, you can kick him out without consulting her. When it comes to moving on from your resentment towards her, don't pressure yourself to do. You have the right to feel like this, and she needs to earn your forgiveness. Personally, I'm not sure if I'd move on if I were you. I value my career too much.